Hello, Sophia.
Uh,
Hello.
Hello, Sophia.
She's like, I love you. Just give me some loving.
Yeah.
Okay, so the band is Polar.
Yes.
How long have you guys been together?
Well, the band itself's been going for about 15 years. But there was a big break in members and actually in full kind of context. In so 2020, was it 2021? It's all a very big bird these days. But yeah, so maybe 2021. We're going to go with that year. But yeah, the original members and I had a falling out, and they went one way, I went the other. And the way I went was to continue the band. So I have, repopulated a brand new version of Polar with some incredible people that I hold dearly. And we have kind of rejuvenated Polar. Like it's almost like starting again, but not to the point where you've got to go right to the bottom, but like you've just got to regroup, and within that, obviously creating a fresh new perspective musically, and a fresh positive perspective going forward for the future.
So you're feeling super like good about the current lineup of Polar, huh?
Yeah, then it's been super refreshing. Um, because the like I'm making new friendships, it's new memories. I didn't really want to see the band die, and it's incredible to have amazing people around me that are really like taken Polar upon themselves, understand the band's history, learn the back catalogue to play shows, so that obviously that we could do it. No one was teaching them to do that. So, the real like emotion investment that they've put into Polar, that's really refreshing, and I think that's what allows the band to drive forward. I think that fresh positivity has given the band a fresh new lease of life, and that's what the band needed.
Yeah.
It got a bit stalemate in a point, so and that has rejuvenated everything else around the band itself.
Oh,
The growth
that
and the development.
yeah, I think that's good. A lot of times, I guess it sounds like you guys kind of hit a wall with what Polar was, and you were like, okay, we got to move forward somehow. And the band went, all right, we're going this way. You went, all right, I've still got a plan. I'm still going to make this happen.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it allowed me to have a lot of freedom what I wanted to do musically, and like it is now, a collectively shared vision amongst all of us. Polar is that band or the band we have now. So, but maybe avenues that I've gone down with this new album, I wouldn't have necessarily been entertained with in the previous lineup, and they're more like I'm probably talking more about the electronic side and the sampling side that we've gone into with this record more so than we've ever done before. But that interests me. That side of music interests me, and to be able to merge it with what we do with like more of the hardcore and metalcore stuff, it's been that I think has helped. Like because it was breaking the mold of what Polar had done the previous albums. It felt like there was a blueprint for a long time that we found a sound. We knew people like that sound. We worked within that blueprint, but may occasionally sort of breaking the mold slightly just to create a variation. And we were building these things, and I think it needed the whole 360. It needed to go a new way. Had to be like not reinvent the wheel, but like reinvent ourselves and create a new dynamic, which you can then go forward with. And you've got more attributes musically to play with. So
Yeah, so it's really cool when bands constantly push like what their boundaries are, right? Like
yeah,
don't get me wrong, I like bands that you know what to expect with each album. Like I love AC/DC, but it's been the same
yeah,
album for
yeah,
50 years, you know what I mean? Um
yeah, yeah, exactly.
uh,
Uh, yeah, challenge. It's just about I think becoming more challenging musically as a band. We weren't challenging enough.
Yeah,
I think that generally is probably a cause for maybe where we weren't progressing fast enough because we just weren't making challenging enough music.
become
Whether
complacent.
it's like to, yeah, like or disliked.
Yeah. So with Five Arrows, what do you feel for those out there listening? Five Arrows is the new album out November 22nd. Um, so with Five Arrows, what do you feel was the most challenging thing that you really pushed with that?
Um, I think the most challenging thing is we had a repopulated band that had never really written music together. You know, there was no history of this. This was like we had, learned mistakes from previous albums, or we had done something that had really opened up a whole new sort of spectrum of ideas. But like that, there weren't really it was the smooth one of the smoothest albums I've ever been involved in. And I've been through six. So and I think I was waiting for it. I think you do. I think everyone you should probably be waiting for it to be challenging at times. You know that should come part and parcel of being and creating a musical like project together, and especially of an album. But we were just so hyper focused on making the best album. We really we really didn't like have a lot of like roadblocks, and I think that just it was almost like you were waiting for something to become a roadblock. You know, you're
Yeah,
waiting for the challenge, you're waiting for the hill, but we didn't really hit them. And that I think shows in the record because I think it just gives it confidence. I think the biggest challenge we have is that our drummer lives in Germany. So for him to be in a studio or do anything with us in the UK, he has to come back and forth. So yeah, I think maybe there's more logistical challenges than there is actually what there were musical challenges. But it was a very smooth process.
that's
Um,
that's super
uh,
cool. Like especially,
yeah,
having a essentially a whole new band that's never written together for it to go smooth and you to feel, as like positive with it at this point is from an outsider's perspective is outstanding, you
yeah.
know?
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I think it maybe opened what it does has done. Now we've written the first album together. We're just about to release the first album as the band we are now. I think what that writing process has done and maybe opens up the newer challenges going forward is it made people were like finding their feet, whereas now people know where they want to go and maybe want to be more expressional in writing in the future. And where do we go with what we've kind of opened the doors with on the previous album? So I think the challenges will come. I think that
Yeah.
I think that's I think we were like incredibly lucky to find each other and to have been able to write an album with such a nice sort of process where we felt I think everyone felt comfortable creating. It was like there was no real like I think when bands maybe change their style of sound or add new things and it's maybe with a lineup that has been together for a long time and people are quite deep rooted in ideas and stuff. You could probably find challenges in that because people might be like, that's a bit too far off what we've been
Yeah.
doing, or whereas this didn't have any boundaries. It was like there was nothing off the table, like because everyone was willing and open-minded enough to be like go into the process and see what we're going to create. No one really knew the
That's
final
fucking
product,
cool.
but it was exciting to see where it was going. Like every time we did something and it improved the song, or we were like everything felt like very like progression, or there was never any sort of like negativity to any of the ideas. Maybe things needed to be finessed a bit more, but like everything was always given its full open attention. And so I think that's where it didn't hit any challenges because it didn't there were never any real conflicts in any of it.
Well, yeah, if you don't really have boundaries, there's not going to be a lot of things that people are going to be like, yeah, I'm not into that. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's give it a shot.
yeah, exactly that.
That's super cool. So with the rest of the band, were you friends with them prior to them coming in, or were they all just like people you were really looking to fill spots with?
So the drummer Max, I've known for about 10 years. I've toured a lot in Europe, and and particularly, he's from a place called Wiesbaden in Germany. Played a lot of shows there, and he's been out on the road with us a couple of times with like the previous lineup. So, he was just, and he's a drummer, so like, and a very good drummer at that. So he just fitted the 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 aesthetic straight away. Knew the band, you know. And there was, and I think he really, you know, he'd been around us a long time, or the band for a long time. So it was a real sort of kind of a big thing for him to come and actually finally sort of step and be part of it. And so, yeah, the other guitarist, Simon, I used to work with him in a music company, and he had worked on the previous album on pre-production with me. And again, you know, he was really, really sort of like familiar with the band and super enthusiastic. So yeah, that kind of filled the spot very quickly. And then Bruno and Steph, I basically went on the musical equivalent of what I can call Tinder, and I don't know how Tinder works because I'm married, but and I just swiped through profiles. I made a profile, swiped through profiles, and I came through both their profiles. And yeah, just shot them this big kind of message about what had happened and my vision for the future and what, you know, why I wanted to continue Polar. And Steph came back straight away, the bass player, and he was like, "Yep, I'm in." Bruno's a bit more methodical, and like I think he wanted to think about it and like, you know, make sure the decision was right for him because it is the real investment. And yeah, he came back, and then that was it. We had sort of locked together. So um, collectively, I kind of like there were some relationships where nobody knew anyone, and then there were some sort of some connections, and that's built over time. Like we haven't really been together that long. We've done this all in a year and a half, I
Oh
think,
yeah.
of literally of the whole thing sort of like falling apart. Like actually, they all fell apart maybe 2022, I think. Obviously, a year and a half, like 2022, around that period. 2023, around yeah, more 2022, I reckon. But yeah, we've sort of in a year and a half had to basically reform, learn how to play a set, go on tour. We've done, I think, up to 4 tours now, and write and record a record, do all of the music videos, and this is while developing friendships, you know, like
Yeah.
and getting to learn to know each other.
Trial by
Um,
fire.
that's it. The album before it took 2 years to make. This one took 4 months. So you can see, but obviously there was a pandemic in the middle of the other one, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit like weight off for like how long it took. But I think in order, you know, the band it took a massive downturn, like a real nosedive once I think people could like feel prior to the break in the band. I think people could actually feel that maybe there were issues internally. You know, how you project yourself out on social media, like how you're handling yourself. We were like supposed to be like promoting a record, and we weren't really showing enthusiasm from behind our scenes to project to other people. And so yeah, when I think, you know, that we took a real kind of nosedive on that period. So um, it's nice now because it feels like it's suddenly come back up again. Like the
Y-
interest in the band has come back,
You're
which
like refreshed with the,
yeah,
the new
yeah,
direction and
yeah,
all that.
yeah, yeah,
That's super cool. It's really nice to see bands who have been through I'm going to call it a complacent time for, just for lack of a better term, but then to turn a corner, whether that be a whole new band or, just the band itself really finding, uh, a new footing, right? To get out there and just
yeah,
go, okay, let's fucking kick some ass. I feel refreshed. Like we're going like a year and a half ish, four
yeah.
tours, an album, bunch of videos. What do you got? Three videos from the album, right?
But five, I think we
Oh
did in
shit.
total. Yeah, yeah, I think we did five. Yeah, we did do five.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah. We blitzed through those and like yeah, on small budgets and just tried to make them as big as we could for what we could do it with. Yeah, like we've just been like very headstrong going forwards, and I think that was the only way this band would have survived. when you've taken a knock like that, or the band has, and you put a whole new band in, people have to, who have known the band for a long time and probably followed the journey, have had to then relearn the band that they like. There's a whole new band there, and
Yeah.
but like we've done that very quickly. It feels very seamless. Like we've moved over very quickly. People are really invested in how the band is now and the members that are in it now.
Right on.
Um, so yeah, and I think you can really feel when something has momentum. And I think that's what you've got to work with, is when you feel that that momentum is there, then work with it. And I think having this album out is just a good. It's the best way to keep that momentum moving, and
Yeah.
while we develop everything else that can come with it, like, and how we move forward musically.
How so when you took the new band out on the road, how did the fans react like those first couple of times of seeing you right with essentially a whole new outfit behind you?
Yeah, everyone's been really supportive. Like I say, everyone, you are gonna, it comes with a balanced scale doing this. There are, the internet allows people to very freely speak about their
Yeah,
their grievances within stuff, and you have to do it. And I welcome both like praise and like downturn from people, because I think it's important to people to have their opinion. If you're a musical artist, that does happen. So, but the people that were at the shows and start seeing the shows, they're really supportive. I think it had to start somewhere, from where we started to where we are now, like especially in our live performances, it's like night and day. You can see that everyone's really comfortable with each other. We lock in a lot more. But I think if we didn't have that support from that live environment, I think it would have been harder. But people were really, really supportive, and I think I'm just super happy people have stuck around and given that support. But our live show, it's constantly stepping up a gear each time, and I think that now feels pleasing for us as a band, because it feels like we're now giving like even more back to the people that have really like enjoyed those live performances, and a whole new live performance. Like they're getting a whole new energy. There's a real new energy with it.
that's
And I
awesome.
think that's it. Yeah, and I think that's really cool. I think people like that. I think to
Yeah, hell
feel new
yeah.
energy. Yeah,
Go
to be in the
you
go with
go
the
to see
show
a
and do that.
band, you want to have that, you want to have an energy. And if there's a new energy there, a new positive energy, it's just like, holy shit, this is even better than I remember it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, exactly, and then that they feed an audience feeds off that as well.
Yeah.
So,
But
so
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think I feel we've turned a corner on that live environment, like really very quickly. Like we went on the road quickly to learn the everything. Like it's all about, like, I think within our band it's all about learning and growing. And even for me, at 15 years of being in it myself from day one, I'm at a period now where I'm still learning and growing, because I've got to learn and grow together with the band. Is, we do everything together. Like that's the rule. Let's learn and grow together. And our live show is just learn. We've learned learned some mistakes. We've learned some things. We've like altered things, and that's grown into something which is like undeniably very, very like energetic and probably very powerful. I don't
Yeah.
obviously have the pleasure of seeing it back, but yeah. So like, yeah, and I think that only welcomes people more, is seeing that and vibing that.
Yeah, that's super cool. It's nice that, after such a short time together, you guys are like locking in a lot more and really getting out there and just crushing it, releasing this new album like, to do all that in a year and a half
Yeah,
and to feel as good as you do right now. Like the look on your face says, "Man, I'm fucking ready to attack the world and take it over." Like
yeah,
that says a
yeah. It
lot.
makes you. It's a very empowering feeling to take something and resurrect it, and build it to where it is. This there's a like this could have gone any way. That moment when everyone had gone, like I decided to carry on, and rebuild it. I've been very incredibly lucky with the people I've have luckily found and asked, and they're they're incredible, like all of them, and they've just made the band even better and brighter than it was even in some of its heydays, like going forward. So I think that no, that's I thank my lucky stars every day that they were the people. That's
Hell
what,
yeah.
but that could have gone any way.
Yeah.
This could have been like and luckily I can sit in an interview and talk about it. Had it gone that you put a load of people in, they start fighting, or you try and like tackle something musically and it doesn't work. And these are all things that could have happened, and luckily, thankfully, it never did. And I think the record is the perfect record for where Polish should be and where it maybe needs to be going forwards.
Right on. So, do you have any like goals or thresholds with this release that you'd like to really attack or meet?
Um, I think it's all about the band's growth. Like, I feel like we had stunted growth for a while. We weren't really moving. We're an older band, like this isn't new. This isn't like been together 6 months and we've done this. This is like, people are very aware of the band. Maybe more countries are aware more than others, but um, and it's I think the thing that's kept me driving and the reason I've done it is because I want to see how big it can get. And like
Yeah.
probably people think I'm crazy at 15 years of doing this, in probably one of the hardest industries to do in, like in is, but I just there's this a hunting desire, and I think that everyone in Poland now shares that. To well, how big can get this get? How much growth can we make?
How
You
is
know, there's
how cool is that to have like a collective like idea of let's take this as far as it'll go?
yeah, like this would probably I'd be very naive to sit here and be like, I want to be doing arenas in a year, like, and like, but like I think a very good mentality to have is to be like, well, how big can it get? Like that's kind of a good way to look at it, because you're not so much benchmarking of being like, we've got to be playing like 5,000 sold out every night within 9 months. But you're like, if that show's bigger than the next, so how and where can we go? And I think that goes for the music as well. It's like, well, where can we go? How big, how
Yeah.
far, like, wide can we go? So I think, yeah, I think it's all about growth. I think that's what keeps us hungry, is to see something sort of bloom and grow. Um, but it'd be nice to do arenas if that ever
Yeah.
came to their life.
Hell yeah, it would. Like I think any band that's out there wants to be like get to that level of arenas, right? Well, I say any band.
Yeah,
A lot of bands do, right? Some of the bands are like, nope, keep us at the club level, like we're good. We'll just crush it
yeah,
in a fucking club, which is, clubs are great too. I love a
yeah,
club.
yeah. Well, that's where you get the most energy.
Yeah,
That is it. Yeah.
it's a hell of a lot more intimate.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I think they're important, those shows. That's
Hmm.
it's where well, we've prospered our art in those environments, and I think they're incredible environments to be in.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, they are. So with this release, my big thing is physical copies. What kind of physical copies are you guys putting out?
We are doing CD digipack. They're all like fold outs, and vinyl. I think vinyl is incredibly important. I'm a big fan of it, and it just like vinyls aren't just like a vinyl. Vinyls are like big pieces of art, and like it exposes the whole package. Like
Yeah.
it's not just music. It's accompanied by art, and I have to give him a shout out. But Bruno, our guitarist, does all of our design and art. So for him, to see it on a vinyl and for all of us, it's incredibly special. But
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
vinyls. But I do, I toy with the idea of tapes, but sometimes you just think, like, is it actually worth like producing these things, and are they going to sell? So you got to be a bit careful with
Well,
spending money on
I
things.
I think on the tape aspect, what I'm noticing a lot of bands do is they do super limited runs of tapes, right? They'll do like 3 or 500 and they're only available at the shows. So if you don't get to a
Yeah, yeah,
show, right, you can't pick one
you
up.
can do it. Yeah, I mean, it would be good to. I lived through the tape era, so yeah,
Yeah,
like
me too.
yeah, I
I
would.
I will never buy another fucking tape if I can help it. Like,
Yeah, no, it
no,
stole that took a lot of my money, that and CDs.
yeah,
So yeah, but you never know. But I think vinyl was super important. I'm so glad, that that particular aspect of physical music is still alive and doing very well.
yeah, me too. That's so growing up, it's always been my like forte is vinyl to be able to put on headphones and turn out the lights and maybe have a little mood light on and throw on an album and just read
Yeah,
through, all the lyrics and all the thank yous and all that shit is fantastic. It's as a whole, right? That is the art, the album,
yeah,
the artwork, the liner notes, everything.
yeah. It's a journey. It's a journey there. Yeah. So and ours is very nice. We've got some really cool artwork. Um, it's a picture frame style. It's very, I'm trying to describe it now, but loads of little waves. With the five arrows emblem. And I think it's like Alaska style blue vinyl that
Okay.
we're running. So yeah, like yeah, that's good. It's quite a lot of the artwork is shaded with greys and whites and blues. So we've matched that with the vinyls. But yeah, they
That
look really good.
that was going to be my question. Like, what color is the vinyl?
Yeah,
Like,
there you go. One step ahead of you.
yeah. So is it clear or is it opaque?
I don't. This is the thing. I haven't seen one in person yet.
Okay.
And it's quite hard to judge until you kind of get that vinyl out and you start putting it in front of the light and actually getting a better idea of what the
That's
actual light thing.
yeah,
But
that's fair.
yeah, it looks very sort of Alaska ice blue at the moment.
Right on. That's a pretty color too, man.
Yeah,
Blue is
yeah, very
probably
striking.
yeah, it's like one of my favorite color. It is my favorite color, blue. I'm just like I always like I wear all black all the time. So like to have anything blue, she's like, "Are you okay?" Like, no, I'm not. It's fine. So like over the next 12 months with the band, is there like as far as touring going, is there a band that you'd really like to get out there and get on the road with to just crush it with for a few days or a couple of months?
um, yeah, I went and saw about them recently, and I've been quite into them. House of Protection.
Okay.
Um, it's yeah, two guys. I used to be in a band called the Fever or Fever 33.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh,
left that, and it's a two piece, and it's like it's yeah, quite crossover stuff. And yeah, there's just a lot of energy. It's like it's electronics. It's like very punky. They do like dual singing, like drum and bass in there. But like, yeah, I love their vibe. I think that would be really really cool.
dude, Fever 333, I saw him I don't know. It was a few years ago. I'd say probably like 2018 or 2019, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Holy shit, man. Their live show was so fucking good. So much energy. So like I
yeah,
can I
yeah.
can only imagine. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. That's wicked. Yeah, it's really good. They've yeah just released an EP, but yeah, I highly recommend it. It's in my list for the things I've enjoyed this year.
Hell yeah. So what are you doing to make to get with them and get out on the road with them?
I think I think we've just got to keep playing. I
Yeah.
think we're in a position now like the music industry's tough, touring's tough. I think you've just got to kind of like do the grind and just and then the bigger you get, the harder you grind. You end up on bills with bands that you never thought you would ever play with. So
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? And that's,
Yeah,
I think a lot of bands really miss that aspect of it, right? To just get out there and
yeah,
grind and put the work in because like
yeah.
it's cool playing your hometown, but if you're not willing to go out to other towns and even just do little weekend runs or whatever constantly, like you've got
Yeah.
a really low ceiling for the amount of success the band will
Oh,
make, you know?
huge. Yeah, hugely. Like the ceiling really is not you can't go anywhere for it.
Right.
Our band has spent majority of its career in Europe, playing Europe a lot. So our demographic does our UK market, and we're even from the UK. We're kind of going back and rediscovering that a bit harder now. Previous lineup, we didn't really concentrate on it. We were kind of doing more in Europe than we were in the UK, and it suffered. So yeah, we're now going back on the grind and kind of reestablishing the name in the UK a bit. And that that still kind of feels like day one, but I don't mind that. Like it feels that in itself feels like more of a challenge is to start, swaying people back to the that there's a good band to be like supporting and coming to see live.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and that's I guess that's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because like if you don't focus on your local scene and you're out everywhere else and
Yeah,
everywhere else loves you, you're like, I'm making money, I can pay my
yeah,
bills, I'm good, and no one at home notices you. But when you play a show at home, people are like, who are you? And you're like,
exactly,
oh,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. You can. Yeah, you've got to distribute your time well. And we just neglected our UK market, which is on the band, on me mainly. And yeah, no, so just you've got to make amends, and that just means going back on the grind,
yep,
and then and get yourself out there, and that I think that's our projection really for the next kind of 12 months is to really push the live well the circuit, get us back into a much more heavier touring cycle than the band's been in for years. But and I think maybe like start doing music. I think is I think we understand that the industry now kind of expects you to be releasing a lot of music a lot like very
yeah,
quickly as well. Like yeah, you don't get these windows. You can't sit and do an album now and then like have 2 years of kind of like playing that album out while you sort of get the luxury of writing a new record of it. It's like churn it out. And I think, so we're now like, for me, I've done albums back to back now. I'm kind of like literally one after the other.
yeah,
And I imagine that it won't be much different going forward. So, we are in a very good, incredible position now to go forward writing music. So I'm hoping, and the ideas are always kind of coming through. We're not hyper focused on it. I think get the new record out and get that over the line, and then we can kind of go back and revisit it. But yeah, so I think it's like we just want to be busy in whatever we're doing,
sure,
creatively or touring. Just as long as we feel like we're moving,
yeah.
and it's still
Well, that's the important thing, right? Because you can be as busy as you want to be and not make any headway on anything,
yeah, yeah,
you
very
know?
true. Yeah, it's very very true.
So, what's one market that you guys haven't really hit yet that you really want to break into?
The US. Yeah, that's that I think any kind of British band really wants to go to the US and do the US. It's like an incredible market.
So
Look
funny
at
how
your
that works.
yeah. Oh, is it like is it
Because the US bands are like, we want to go over there, you know?
yeah? I want to come over. They can be more than happy trade. Like
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, the US. Um, it's it's for us. It's been spoken about a lot, and it's never really fruitated into be able to do it. Never right time, money, but it's quite hard, like logistically to pull that kind of off for where the stage we're at. Um, but I think maybe this record might have the gravitation for us to be able to do it. I feel
yeah,
more. that this might resonate better in the US market,
I,
maybe
f-
than previous releases have. So,
I feel
and I
like
think that,
this album would go over well, here in the States.
yeah, yeah, I think it kind of ticks a lot of boxes for I think what a lot of people listen to. So yeah, so maybe that will be the way of manifesting that kind of market.
Right on. But hopefully this helps you some. I'd love to
Yeah,
see you guys over here and do some dates and start to
yeah,
build some following over here. Of course, I love the States. Grew up here.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
any other bands we can get to come and check the scene out is always super super cool.
yeah. It's on the bucket list.
Hell yeah! All right, we got to start checking those boxes and make that happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So in all your years of touring, is there a place that you like going more than anywhere else to play?
Um, yeah, it'll probably be Germany. I spent a lot of my career in Germany. I love Germany. I feel very at home there.
This
Yeah, just the shows are great. People are lovely. The places are beautiful. Yeah, I could see myself moving there in my future years. Over I retire. Yeah, just I've just got a love for it. I think the band connected very well in within the German music market and scene. And we've developed an incredibly strong fan base in Germany that have been incredibly loyal over the times where the band needed people to be loyal. And yeah, I just feel very like emotionally connected to Germany. I love many places, but I guess from spending so much time there, that deep
Germany's the one
rooted
that really
connection.
pulls to you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's I've not been there. I hear it's absolutely gorgeous. I've got a cousin
Oh,
that lives there and he loves it.
10 out of 10 recommend. You should, yeah.
Yeah, it is one of the many places on my list. Now that, my kids they're 17 and 20. So like they're at an age where we can go and do stuff and we don't have to take them with us. And not that I don't want them to
No, no, don't
experience
worry.
it,
I,
but
I was a child once, and I see the gleeful joy of my parents knowing that I am never having to be their responsibility ever again. So like, yeah, it's and the amount of stuff that they can do, I think is incredible. I was like, so yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I was like, you've been bottling this up for years. Go and enjoy yourself.
Well, it's so cost prohibitive when you've got, two other mouths to go with you. It goes from,
Yeah,
a couple $1,000 trip to now you're in like we did Hawaii a couple years ago and we were probably, I don't know, we were at 10,000 plus for 7 days for the four of us. And it's just like, oh
yeah, that's it.
God.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Back breaking stuff.
it is. We were, lucky enough to be in that position to do it and the kids experienced it, but I'm like, okay, you guys can get jobs. You guys,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh
uh,
my yeah. Yeah, I know the conversation very well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how's your family with you like going out and touring and hitting the road?
Yeah. They they've been living with it for 15 years. I'm married. Um and yeah, just they're very supportive. Yeah, I mean a lot of the tour actually to be honest, they're probably waiting for me to actually go and tour a bit more. I've been home a lot. Obviously with everything that's happened, and prior to that was the pandemic. And the day the pandemic, like they were starting to like, shut borders, I was on tour with After the Burial, Spirit Box, and Make Them Suffer in Europe, and everyone had to fly home. I had Make Them Suffer in my house, and then that kind of was like the point where everything kind of obviously stopped, and like it's taken a while to get back into a touring motion really or a momentum within touring, and I've been home a lot and I've probably annoyed my wife a lot, so she's probably quite excited for me to go and spend a lot of time in a van. Yeah. So yeah, but no, yeah, very yeah, we've done it for so many years, like, and to the point even sometimes we just don't even like ring each other every day because it's like, how's your day? I turned up, I did sound check, I played a show, I hung out. I went to bed, I got up and I sat in a van, like,
Yeah.
and nothing really dramatically changes. So yeah, I think that's years and like, I think probably she's probably a bit bored.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. You know,
No, I don't.
it,
I'm running her down now. No, yeah, no, it's very, very supportive.
that's awesome. Yeah. And I can only imagine, right? Like I go to a lot of shows. Of course, I'm not out touring, but I go to a lot of shows and my wife gets home from work and she's like, "Do you have a show tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yes." Like, ah, love you too, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Like, go, I'm
free
tired.
free reign on the TV. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah.
Which, we've got like four TVs in the house, and I think one of them gets turned on for about 40 minutes a day, and that's
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not real big on like TV. We do actually we do a lot of music.
yeah.
There's always we've got three record players in the house, one in each of
Oh,
the
wow.
kids' room and one,
Yeah, yeah.
in my space. So it's like listen to music,
This is the way to go. Yeah. No, I'm completely with you. I'm not a massive. I don't get time actually to watch anything. Like the window, especially with the campaign and the way it's been. It's just been we've been grinding. It's been loads of work. So I've been sat in front of a laptop doing a lot of work, a lot of admin. There's a lot
Yeah,
of admin being in a band these days. Like a hell of a lot of admin.
yeah.
So yeah, it keeps me out of trouble.
When I bet when you first were like, I'm going to be a musician, you didn't realize how much business really goes into being in a band, huh?
About 20% music at the moment. I
Yeah,
think 80% office like pen pushing and like spreadsheets. But uh, well, you've got to do it, haven't you? Like it is a business. We've got
it
to run it
is.
as a business. So yeah.
If you want to make money, you got to run it as a business, and
Oh yeah.
that I think that's probably one of the
So yeah.
hardest things to do. So my
Yeah.
dog's like chewing the bone right above my head, and I'm just like, what the hell is she doing? I know she's sitting up there just like, ah,
Ignoring.
yeah, crazy. Okay, Woody. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming to hang out with me tonight. I look forward to the release of Five Arrows. Um, is that on A Rising Empire?
It is. Yeah.
Um, so let's plan on getting you over here to the States in the next 12 months. That is both of our goals.
Yeah, yeah. Let's and we can revisit this conversation just before it happens.
All
Maybe.
right, let's rock and roll. All right, dude. Well,
Yeah,
go and have yourself a great day.
yeah. And you take care.
Thank you. See ya.